Yang Guifei is unquestionably one of the most iconic it girls of ancient China. Her charms and beauty were such that Emperor Xuanzong's obsession with her brought about the collapse of the prosperous High Tang period. She's best known for epitomizing the plump beauty of Tang Dynasty standards with her fuller figure. But were all Tang beauties voluptuous figures floating about in ethereal gowns? Women's clothing of the time followed the 6th Dynasty's style, which featured heavy nomadic influence, thus fitting closer to the body. A short-sleeved jacket called the banbi was often worn over a slim, long-sleeved undershirt. Paneled skirts, either in solid or alternating colors, were paired with these tops. To prevent tripping over the long skirts, shoes with upturned toes were worn. A wrap called pibo finished the outfit. Nomadic influence can be seen in another popular style of dress called the yuanling pao. A close-fitting robe with narrow sleeves and a round collar, the yuanling pao was initially worn by men on horseback, but its popularity trickled down to all classes. It could be worn by government officials, where the collar indicated rank, but it could also be worn with the collar popped back, revealing a colorful facing that showed the Sogdian influences on this garment. The yuanling pao wasn't confined to men. Princess Taiping was the daughter of the famous Wu Zetian. Besides being known for her skill in scheming and plotting, she was also famously recorded wearing yuanling pao. Surprisingly, her parents did not denounce her for not only wearing men's clothes but foreign men's clothes. The yuanling pao only grew in popularity amongst women as the Tang Dynasty went on. They were even depicted as astride horses, wearing their practical yuanling pao while playing polo. A veiled hat called the wei mao was a common accessory in this endeavor. From High to Late Tang, improved textile technology allowed for lighter and sheerer silks than ever. Ladies in paintings from this era are dressed in voluminous layers of printed, woven, and gauzy silk. Pleated skirts were worn high under the bust or even over it. Short tops called ru were tucked into the skirt. Sheer over jackets with huge sleeves were piled on top. And of course, we mustn't forget the ever-versatile pibo. More relaxed social norms created by foreign influence meant that women's fashion in this era was probably the most revealing to date, showing gasp, décolletage even. These clothes were made up of all sorts of silks, including twill damasks called ling, plain weave damask called qi, colorful brocades called jin, and patterned luo. Resist-dyed silks similar to the batik of Southeast Asia were also popular. As in earlier dynasties, these luxurious fabrics incited anxiety from the elite about people dressing above their station. According to Confucian values, clothing was supposed to signify rank and class. If an official purposely donned the clothes of a higher rank, it was called fuyao, sartorial anomaly. In theory, women had to follow the restrictions of their husband's dress. In practice, since women weren't allowed at court anyway, they usually had more leeway in their fashions, often copying royal princesses and concubines. A notable example is Princess Anne's 百鸟裙, made from the feathers of 100 different birds. This supposedly sparked a craze among wealthy elite ladies, whose imitation caused all the rare birds and animals in Jiangnan and Lingwai to be plucked entirely. Luxurious fabrics weren't the only things that incited anxiety from the elite about women's moral feelings. Hair and beauty trends were areas of common critique as well. Drooping eyebrows in a figure ba, strong lines of rouge across the face, black painted lips, and hair piled into tall loops were just some of the barbarian fashions that renowned poet Bai Zhiyi bemoaned the Chinese ladies adopting. Top knots and faces painted ruddy are not Chinese customs, he exhorted. Towards the end of the dynasty, extravagant hairstyles that towered above the head and dripped with adornment were in vogue. These sumptuously dressed ladies were often portrayed playing Go, teasing their pets, or dancing and playing music. The quicker cycle of fashion trends in the Tang meant that one fell behind the times quickly. Then, as now, most of the people who make glamorous clothes rarely have the good fortune to wear them. Tang poetry often alludes to 贫女, poor girls, and 织妇, weaving women. In Qin Taoyu's poem, one such poor girl laments that her capable fingers have only ever embroidered bridal gowns for other girls, not herself. In the Tang Dynasty, textiles were a reliable way of paying taxes, more reliable even than grain or coins. These plain with silks were usually woven by women in agrarian households. In Wang Jian's poem, the weaving woman is so exhausted by her thankless job that she falls asleep at her loom, chignon askew and still fully dressed. Ultimately, the lives of the women of the Tang Dynasty, whether they glittered in silks in the court or labored at their looms, were inextricably linked with textiles and clothing.